Imagine quitting your job tomorrow and never having to work another day, yet living comfortably for the rest of your life, all with just $500,000 in the bank. If you believe you need $2 million or more to retire, you are not alone. According to the 2023 Fidelity Retirement Survey, that is exactly what most Americans think. But that belief could be costing you decades of unnecessary work. Here's the reality. Based on real-world examples and peer-reviewed financial research, you could achieve true freedom far sooner, with far less, if you follow the right approach. Today, I'm going to show you the precise 5-step roadmap that is helping regular people retire comfortably on a fraction of what the experts claim is necessary, ready to see the difference between chasing endless millions and actually living free. Let's break down the numbers and discover your real freedom number. Most people spend their lives chasing someone else's idea of wealth, working extra hours, saving every bonus, and still believing retirement is decades away because the headlines say you need millions? Let me be clear right from the start. Nearly 61% of Americans think they need at least $2 million to retire comfortably, and over a third raise that estimate to $5 million or more. That's according to the Fidelity Retirement Confidence Survey, 2023. Yet, while conventional wisdom demands you grind for a 7-figure portfolio, there is a growing movement of people who live fully, travel often, and control their schedules, all on just $500,000 invested wisely. The difference is not luck or secret privilege. It is a shift in mindset and method. Now, before we jump into making this real for you, take a second and think, what does financial freedom actually look like in your mind? Is it Lamborghinis, designer wardrobes, and mansions? Or is it simply waking up without an alarm clock, spending your time exactly how you want, and never sweating a bill or deadline again? Here's where I want to flip the script. Most people think wealth is about accumulating stuff, but wealth is really about accumulating choices, and choices cost less than you might think. True financial independence means setting up a stream of passive income that covers your basics. So you are not working for survival but for satisfaction, if you choose to work at all. First, let's break down the cold, hard math. Suppose you have $500,000. Instead of leaving it in a checking account earning pennies, let's allocate it to conservative, reliable assets. A mix of investment-grade bonds, high-yield savings, and other low-risk products. Historically, these types of instruments yield around 5% annually, even in challenging market cycles. According to Morningstar's 30-year bond performance data, that is $25,000 a year, or over $2,000 a month. Pure interest, no principal drawdown, all without you clocking in or sacrificing your original money. Pause and calculate your own. Take your investable balances and multiply by 0.05. What is the number you get? Post it below. I would love to see how close you are to basic financial freedom. If the number surprises you, comment eye-opener, so others know they are not alone. Now, $25,000 a year will not buy a yacht, but that is not the point. The magic is in trading your time for total autonomy. Every morning, you decide what happens next with your day, not your boss, not your bills. No more mindless meetings or crowded commutes, just your life on your terms. But what if you want to take on a touch more risk for greater reward? Historically, a balanced portfolio, a mix of about 60% stocks and 40% bonds, has generated between 8% and 9% annual returns. Based on Vanguard's and Fidelity's long-term index data from 1980 to 2022, let's use 8.5% as our reference. $500,000 earning 8.5% provides $42,500 a year, or about $3,540 per month. Suddenly, we are talking about more than bare-bones comfort. That is the financial firepower for real adventures. Travel, passions, supporting family, or simply enjoying life's rich moments, all while letting your nest egg continue to grow. But, and here's the critical piece, this strategy is not about burning down your savings. Most retirement advice suggests you stockpile a mountain of cash and slowly chip away at it, hoping you do not outlive your money. But if you live only off your returns, not the principal, your wealth can easily outlast you. You are not just financially independent, you become financially immortal, handing down opportunity to the next generation if you choose. According to CNBC Money's recent retiree data, the vast majority of people burn through their savings because they lack a simple, robust system for converting wealth into sustainable freedom. So how do you do it differently? And smarter? Here's the 5-step roadmap that I have taught my followers, and I will annotate each step with source-backed data and real-life context as we go. Step 1. Define your minimum viable lifestyle. Instead of following some arbitrary millionaire script, get crystal clear on what you need. Not what you want in the moment, but what you value most. Start by tallying up genuine must-haves. Housing, food, basic utilities, and modest enjoyment. When you see real numbers, say $2,500 or $3,200 a month, it becomes clear just how far your freedom number goes. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, as of 2023, the average single-person cost of living in a modest urban environment is about $2,730 per month. Step 2. Calculate your passive income gap. Here's where the magic happens. How much are you already generating? Through investments, interest, rental properties, or even side hustles. And how does that compare to your monthly needs? For most, the gap is smaller than expected once they discover both the yield and the lifestyle flexibility they control it. Let's revisit the earlier example. A $500,000 portfolio at 8.5% annual returns means $42,500 per year, or $3,540 a month. That more than handles the average $2,730 expenses, leaving an $810 monthly surplus, even before factoring in Social Security or part-time work later in life. But how do real people, with normal salaries, actually pull this off? Let's look at what the evidence and experience from our own community proves next. Step 3. Build and protect your foundation. The foundation is the first $500,000. No shortcuts, no lottery required. It might look intimidating, but here is the attainable truth. If you consistently save $2,000 per month, you will cross the $500,000 mark in roughly 18 years. Assuming average investment returns. Want to accelerate things? Start with $500 per month, increase your savings rate with raises or side hustles, and ruthlessly cut back on waste. Remember, time works in your favor due to compounding. According to Vanguard's 2024 Compounding Returns Report, even a $500 monthly investment at 8% grows to $439,000 in 25 years. As your income rises, ramp up your investment amount, and you are there even faster. Step 4. Immunize against lifestyle creep and mindset. This is where most fail. The moment people make more, they spend more. Buying flashier cars, gadgets, and moving into trendier zip codes. According to Experian, the average American spends over $600,000 on cars and related costs throughout a 40-year career. That is more than enough to reach early financial freedom multiple times. Similarly, the National Restaurant Association found that Americans blow over $3,000 a year on restaurant and coffee shop spending. If invested annually at 8%, that $3,000 alone turns into $800,000 over 30 years. The point is not to rob yourself of every joy. It is to consciously direct your dollars toward freedom, not fleeting pleasure. Want a simple way to start? Cancel just one unnecessary subscription a month and redirect that savings to your investment account. Post in the comments what is your highest habit expense that could be rerouted toward your freedom number? Let's zoom into the life of Sarah and Mark. Their story blends lived experience with the exact steps we have discussed so far. In their late 20s, they decided to get serious. Sarah was a public school teacher. Mark worked as a mechanical tech. Instead of chasing every raise with more expensive cars or bigger houses, they focused on keeping monthly living expenses at $2,400, paid off their mortgage in 15 years, and invested every surplus dollar in broad market index funds. They averaged a joint savings rate of $1,700 per month. Fast forward 18 years, some years better, some worse, but due to disciplined saving and steady returns, their nest egg hit $510,000. Now in their late 40s, they are living on $3,500 per month in portfolio income, enjoy slow travel, and both volunteer part-time. Not because they have to, but because they want to. Your journey will look different, but the principles hold. Individual results will always vary, and this story is for illustration, not a guarantee. But the system is replicable. If this inspires you, download the free Freedom Number Calculator spreadsheet I linked below. Hundreds in our Money Masters community have used it to map out their own trajectory. Let's return to the myth that you can't save $500,000 unless you are rich. Most working adults spend more on cars and dining than it would take to achieve real freedom. Even if your income is average, what matters most is consistent. Disciplined action and understanding needs versus wants. Quick pause. If your idea of your personal freedom number is less than it was before watching, type your number below. I want to see how much this framework changes our reality as a community. But what about inflation? Does not everything get more expensive, shrinking your passive income over time? Excellent question. And here's how we future-proof your freedom. If you earn 8.5%, but spend only 6 to 7%, your investments not only keep pace with inflation, but grow in purchasing power. According to the United States Bureau of Labor Statistics, inflation has averaged 2.5 to 3.5% over the long term. A portfolio with disciplined withdrawal rates has historically outperformed inflation. And do not forget Social Security benefits, which, even with possible changes, add more security. For context, the average Social Security payment is $1,900 per month, nearly $4,000 for a married couple. That is extra buffer, additional security, and could be the difference between just scraping by and truly thriving in your new freedom. Always remember, though, the numbers are not static, and future returns are never guaranteed. This is for educational purposes, not personalized investment advice. Consult a certified financial planner before making decisions, and see disclaimer below. Now let's address some real objections. What if the market crashes? What if you need more than $500,000? What if your circumstances change drastically? These are real, not hypothetical, concerns. That is why diversification, conservative drawdowns, and regular portfolio reviews are so essential. Even in the Great Recession, diversified portfolios rebounded within 5 to 7 years for those who followed sound withdrawal practices, job loss, health emergencies, family needs. All demand preparation, not just optimism. Build a 1-year emergency buffer if you can, and always factor some flexibility into your spending plans. Here's a quotable moment from our Money Masters community. Real wealth is not about the stuff you own. It is about the freedom you have to choose. That is not just a slogan. It is what separates looking rich from truly being rich. The biggest difference I see between those who make it and those who do not is not talent, income, or luck. It is habits. Every time you walk past a new car lot, resist a gadget upgrade, or skip the drive-thru, you are buying back a piece of your independence, the discipline to consistently invest. Even when no one is watching, beats almost any windfall or grand gesture. You are shifting from a reactive spender to an intentional builder, and that mindset is transferable to every part of your life. What about regional differences? Can you really retire on $500,000 if you live in San Francisco, London, or Sydney? Location matters, no question. High cost of living cities will require either a bigger portfolio, secondary income streams, or a willingness to adapt lifestyle standards. Or, as many early retirees do, Relocate to more affordable areas domestically or internationally, where $3,000 per month delivers a quality of life few Americans ever experience. There are entire online communities. Explore our financial independence or the FIRE blog network, full of actual case studies adjusting the freedom framework for every corner of the country and dozens of spots overseas. The bottom line: building wealth is not about one heroic leap. It is 1,000 small, repeated, often boring but automatic actions that compound over time. Start today with whatever you can, even $50 per month, and automate it. The magic of compounding rewards the starter, not the perfectionist. If any part of this resonates, grab my free financial freedom number calculator from the link below. Plug in your expenses, target monthly lifestyle, and let the spreadsheet show you how many years you are actually away from a six-figure independence, not a $1 million fantasy. Quick recap. 5-step system, just like we started. 1. Define minimum viable lifestyle. 2. Calculate passive income gap. 3. Build and protect foundation. 4. Immunize mindset and lifestyle. 5. Systematize for resiliency and growth. Pause. If you ever felt financial freedom was out of reach because traditional advice set the bar too high, type yes in the comments. You are not alone, and you are not stuck. The finish line is not retirement by attrition. It is a life of intention, choices, and freedom. On your terms, maybe years or even decades before most experts would have you believe. Remember, none of this is get-rich-quick or a guarantee. Returns may vary, risks persist, and everyone's timeline is unique. This video is for educational purposes only, not financial advice. Consult a licensed advisor about your situation and make sure your plan adapts to your own life. If you found any part of this actionable, hit like and consider becoming part of the Money Masters community. In the next episode, I will break down the best index funds for portfolio growth, with historical returns, risk comparisons, and step-by-step setup tutorials. Subscribe so you do not miss it. But for now, the only question is, will you build a life around what matters, or keep chasing a number set by someone else? Your future self is counting on you to decide. See you in the next video. Let's wrap up with a quick recap and real action steps you can take this week. Today I showed you my 5-step system. First, define your minimum viable lifestyle. Figure out exactly what you need, not just what you want. Second, calculate your own passive income gap. See how close you are to the line where your investments can pay your bills. Third, build and protect that foundation. It is not magic. It is consistent savings and investing, boosted by compound interest over time. Fourth, immunize yourself against lifestyle inflation. Remember, wealth is choices, not stuff. And finally, systematize and safeguard your progress. Diversify, monitor regularly, and stick to a sustainable withdrawal rate. The next step: download my free financial freedom number calculator from the description and plug in your real expenses. Look at your savings plan and set up an automatic monthly transfer. Maybe $50, maybe $2,000, whatever fits right now. Aim to bump it up with each raise or side income stream over the next 30 days. In 3 months, review your spending for habit traps and trim at least one regular expense. Over time, 6 to 12 months. Track your investment growth, check your target, and celebrate each dollar closer to financial freedom. If you build with this process, you will start to see real momentum in 12 to 18 months. Maybe not full freedom, but the knowledge that you are truly on your way. The timeline will vary. Maybe faster if you can invest more. Maybe slower if life throws a curveball. What matters is starting and staying consistent. If you got value, subscribe for more step-by-step strategies. Next time, I will reveal my favorite index funds and their actual risk-return records so you can maximize that $500,000. Comment your biggest money question. Top ones will be answered in the next Money Masters episode. And share this with a friend whose idea of retirement needs a total reset. Last reminder. This video is for educational and informational purposes only, not financial advice. Future returns are never guaranteed. Always consult a certified professional before making decisions with your money. Your independence is possible if you choose the right actions. Starting today,